PNGDF resumed training to secure APEC. Parliament hears questions on investments. And 1,000 rural homes to have power.
This is the National EMTV News with Meribah Tulo.
A very good evening. Thank you for joining us for Friday's news. Over 700 soldiers from the 1st Royal Pacific Island Regiment will resume special training designed to ensure a safe and secure APEC. Commanding Officer of 1R PIR, Lieutenant Colonel Boniface Aruma, says the training will commence on Monday and will run until the end of the APEC summit. Today, the battalion staged a parade to mark the official opening of the 2018 operational year. APEC Minister Justin Tichenko and Chief of PNG Defence Force Preparations, Colonel Sialediro, highlighted the importance of the government's position in hosting the summit.
The 1st Royal Pacific Islands Regiment is the infantry arm of the PNG Defence Force. The battalion will mark its 67th anniversary in March, but there won't be a big celebration as 1R PIR will be the front line of the APEC security operations involving the PNGDF. This operation is nicknamed Task Group Mero and will include other military personnel from both the Navy and the Air Transport Wing.
We must therefore support the police in providing a safe and secure environment for our friends to come to our land. That is the task at hand. Have no doubt about the importance of what you must do.
At the start of the Commanding Officer's parade, Colonel Sialediro said the soldiers will be responsible for the safety and security of over 21 world leaders and their delegation. With the APEC summit just 10 months away, the government's major priority is the safety and security of world leaders who will be attending the summit.
As your minister, in working closely with you over the next 10 months to ensure our country is safe, our VIPs and guests are safe and secure, and that the APEC 2018 event is a successful one for you, your families, our country, and our economy as well.
Minister Tichenko said despite the different roles individual soldiers play, the eyes of the world will be on PNG as a nation when the summit nears. 1R PIR is grateful for the continuous support provided by the Australian Defence Force, the New Zealand Army and the US Marines. With the completion of the Company of Excellence program, Head of 1R PIR, Lieutenant Colonel Aruma, said the unit has young soldiers who stand ready to take on the challenge.
Over the course of the coming months, we will embark on a lot of realistic and demanding training. This training will demand a lot of commitment and dedication from each and every one of us.
But the unit's budget has been reduced by over 800,000 kina, forcing the unit to stick to training activities which are budgeted for. It is a massive task, and the commanding officer of the 1st Royal Pacific Islands Regiment and his soldiers have undertaken specific trainings since 2017 in preparations for APEC. The 1R PIR unit will be leading the PNG Defence Force in supporting police for security operations come November. Thakla Gunga, National EMTV News.
Maprik MP John Simon today questioned Prime Minister Peter O'Neill on the reasoning behind a 50 million kina investment in the East APEC region under the Public Investment Programme. He said the investment was unfair to other districts, citing the rise of SMEs in his own district. The member also asked why this particular district is vital to the government's agenda.
Prime Minister, could the Prime Minister inform the people of East APEC, PNG, why is this one district so important to your government? More importantly than any other districts in this country. To continue to get more money than any other districts, all the members sitting as well, both on both sides.
In part of his questions, John Simon also referenced a 21 million kina investment which is under the Department of National Planning. According to the 2018 budget, the investment will be used for transforming the Sepik Plains into an agroeconomic development zone and to provide vital infrastructure to investors who will use these facilities to process goods, mainly for export.
Is a much talked about potential for many years by many governments. And yet there's been no attempt to develop the Sepik Plains. Mr. Deputy Speaker, I will get the department to give me a full report of the details of how that money was expended. I am not privy to it, but I will table it in this parliament before we rise.
The Prime Minister also highlighted the potential for growing rice in the district and the interest by organizations for oil palm projects. The investments will generate employment opportunities for landowners and local communities, including the people of East Sepik province on a larger scale. Imad Shaligram, National EMTV News.
Still in Parliament, Sumcar MP Chris Nangoy says work on the collapsed Bana Bridge is too slow despite several visits from state ministers. Mr. Nangoy told Parliament people are severely affected and work must commence to restore that vital link. He also questioned the 5 million kina allocation by the Department of Works.
The Bana Bridge collapsed on 4th January and affected nearly 500,000 people from 4 different districts in Madang and East Sepik. Sumcar district in Madang is the worst affected as people struggle to access other services following the collapse of the bridge. The Sumcar MP want answers if the 5 million allocated is for a new bridge or temporary bypass.
Please specify for this allocation. Is this allocation is for Bana Wasab Matugar bypass, or is it for a new temporary bridge to be built next to the fallen one?
MP Nangoy is also concerned with the slow attempt by the Works Department.
Can you inform my people when will this bridge start and finish?
Minister responsible Michael Nally confirmed to the House that work on the bypass will be pushed at all costs. He also clarified that the 5 million kina is for both restoring the bypass and access road.
So what we are trying to do now and working on is to restore half of that, a temporary restoration of half of that the bridge, while we get into a major design and works program to have a new bridge replaced.
Minister Nally says many bridges are aging and those transporting heavy machinery or cargo must be careful.
A little bit later, I will come to a point where I will have to say to everyone and warn everyone that we will need to become a little bit strict and penalties will be applied on abuses of national roads and provincial roads and trunk roads as well.
Jack Lapave Jr., National EMTV News.
Petroleum Minister Fabian Pock has admitted that there are no policies to allow gas to be used for local markets. Minister Pock says the government is now pushing for a new policy so gas projects will supply a proportion for local production. Minister Pock was responding to questions by Gulf Governor Chris Haiveta during questions without notice in Parliament today.
Focus entirely on commercial arrangements.
Gulf Governor Chris Haiveta raised concerns of the increasing number of gas fields in the country and the quantity PNG can produce for export. However, he says it is alarming to see no local content captured in the gas projects.
The Oil and Gas Act does allow for domestic market obligations, but it does not truly embrace the country's aspirations on how the gas should be developed or used. The provisions focus entirely on commercial arrangements for domestic market obligations.
With Gulf to see 2 major gas fields produce gas within the next 5 years, Governor Haiveta wants to see Gulf people benefit directly. Governor Haiveta says the Oil and Gas Act must capture local content.
Could a minister also ensure that the domestic market obligation provisions in the Oil and Gas Act is amended accordingly so that it is consistent with the new policy?
Responding to questions by Governor Haiveta, the minister responsible says apart from the PNG LNG agreement, the government is pushing for a strategic pipeline policy to have gas be used by locals.
We will also be looking at changing the Oil and Gas Act to ensure that it complies with the policy and what the government agrees on.
Minister Pok admitted that currently there is no domestic obligation by gas projects operating in the country. He says the government is pushing for local content be captured in the new Oil and Gas Act that is before the National Executive Council.
In the wisdom of the NEC, if it is approved, then it becomes a policy of government where future gas operators and producers will now make certain percentage of gas available for domestic market use.
Jack Lepavit Jr., National EMTV News.
Energy Minister Sam Basil told Parliament today that 1,000 rural homes are expected to have power under the Rural Electrification Project. He also said his department will be presenting a National Energy Authority bill which will allow the department to regulate power and create competition for power supply in the country.
Minister for Energy.
Responding to the West New Britain Governor's question on when the government planned on rolling out the rural electrification project, Minister Basil responded that they were ready to roll out to 1,000 rural homes.
MSK from the step-down transformer. So, Mr. Speaker, from what we gather from my secretary, we are ready to power 1,000 homes. Now, with the 1,000 figure, we can divide it into 4 regions, which comes out to be 250 homes.
Basil added that if the provinces partnered with the Energy Ministry, it could double.
I would be calling out, our department will be calling out for respective governors and respective members of parliament to partner this program with the Energy Department so that we can, instead of powering 1,000 homes, we can increase it to 2,000.
Minister Basil said once rolled out, the budget will only cater for 300 meters into a village.
Will be eligible. One ply permanent house, another ply semi-permanent, another ply bush house material. It will start from the step-down transformer, 300 meters to the center of the village, and then we will hook the aerial cable into each houses, straight into the MSK unit. PNG Power will supply the easy pay meter, which the line only use him, only can use him Digicel or telecom network to pay for the power in the rural settings.
Minister Basil also encouraged other licensed power suppliers to have meter boxes similar to PNG Power. Meanwhile, Minister Basil says the department is working on a National Energy Authority bill.
A policy forward, and it has been approved, and we are currently working on the National Energy Authority bill, which will come before Parliament. When that comes into play, the Energy Department will regulate power and energy in Papua New Guinea, which means we will allow for independent power producers to produce power. We will also even license another PNG Power to be operating in Papua New Guinea to compete with PNG Power, to sell power so that we can have competition in this industry.
Adelaide Xerox Kari, National EMTV News.
Strong allegations against a government minister were made today in Parliament. Kairukuhiri MP Peter Isoaimo asked the Prime Minister to investigate allegations made in a petition by Koyari landowners on their grievance of the removal of 9 million kina from the Koyari Benefit Fund by a minister who is the chairman of the Ministerial Committee, his secretary and 5 other people.
Minister, number one, for last place like him, some investigation, he go inside law display. Number two, whether or not Magmak law enough 9.85 million can be reimbursed to them.
In the process to take advantage of the of our people and abuse and misuse money, and we all get blamed for it. I appeal to our people not to take law into their own hands and allow the due process to take its course. We will make the appropriate actions that they desire to ensure that what is rightfully theirs is restored. And
you're watching National EMTV News. We'll have more of today's stories after these messages. Don't go away. Welcome back to the news. The Madang National Court has dismissed a no-case submission filed by lawyers representing incumbent Madang Governor Peter Yama and the Electoral Commission this morning. Justice Terence Higgins, who presided over the case, upheld the petition filed by retired Major General Jerry Singirock. Singirock had filed the petition on the grounds of eligibility of former Madang Governor James Yali in contesting the 2017 national general elections. Justice Higgins, after hearing the submissions filed by lawyers representing Peter Yama, the Electoral Commission and Jerry Singirock, dismissed the no-case submission. He upheld the petition, saying the petition has evidence to go on to a proper trial and has adjourned to Monday. Yesterday, the National Court also overlooked the competency motion filed by Madang Governor Peter Yama on the issue of James Yali's eligibility in contesting the Madang regional seat. Still in Madang, the province's acting provincial police commander says there has been an increase in the number of murder cases due to various factors. Senior Inspector Jacob Bando says for the last 3 months, there have been at least 3 killings. Bando says this has been due to the use of illicit homebrew and drugs in the communities.
According to police reports, since November of last year to January this year, the number of killings recorded has increased. So far, there have been 3 deaths that were committed in a space of 1 month apart. On Monday, a 19-year-old man was chopped to death at Maiwara along the North Coast Road of Madang. The killing follows a conflict that arose from an alcohol-related incident in November of last year. The 2 warring factions in the community also torched 18 bush material houses. Last Tuesday, a man was murdered in our village in Bogia district. The man was suspected of practicing sorcery. Meanwhile, there's also been an increase in the number of armed robberies that are being committed. In the last 12 months, there have been reported cases of criminals robbing major supermarkets and shops in the town vicinity and escape by boat. There is now a public outcry by residents and the business community on the rise in criminal activities in the province. Madang is experiencing an increase in both the petty and major criminal activities. Residents are warned to take extra precautions when moving around. Martha Louise, National EMTV News, Madang.
And we do apologize for the disturbing images in that report. Moving on, the Chief Executive of the Australian Centre for Agricultural Research has expressed satisfaction in the manner in which Australian funding is being used in the agricultural science projects in PNG. Professor Andrew Campbell said it was good to see more people trained and more projects which were relevant to Papua New Guinea.
At the NARI headquarters, ACR staff were given a virtual tour of the projects that NARI is working on. The idea is to create avenues for farming communities to use local crops and local methods and hopefully commercialize crops that can be exported.
It's wonderful to see a country starting to appreciate its indigenous native foods.
Through ACR support, NARI has developed various technologies that can be replicated in the communities. This peanut sheller is one example, carved out of a short log. It speeds up the laborious process of removing peanuts from their shells. It is through programs like this that NARI and ACR hope to expand their work.
NARI has been working very closely with ACR and they are the major supporter in terms of research and also human resource development.
The partnership has already seen the exchange of Australian and Papua New Guinean staff. Scott Waide, National EMTV News, Lae.
The National Information and Communication Technology Authority, NICTA, held its first regional workshop today in Mount Hagen. The one-day workshop was part of the SIM card registration awareness program targeting subscribers in rural areas of the country. NICTA partnered with the Papua New Guinea Council of Churches to help in the rolling out of the SIM registration program.
This regional workshop is the first of 4 regional workshops to be held throughout the country. NICTA partnered with PNG Council of Churches and funded 300,000 kina for them to use their network and register its members. A way forward from this workshop is that churches will submit names of their pastors to NICTA and the telecommunication companies to train them to register subscribers.
We need to complete this exercise way before the leader summit. So that's why we are pressed for time.
NICTA CEO Charles Punaha says NICTA have partnered with the churches to speed up the SIM registration process. He said the authority is facing challenge in delayed registration and the process needs to be done before the 2018 APEC meeting. The Giselle company has 2.5 million subscribers. However, 1.5 million subscribers are yet to be registered. Mr. Punaha urged more people to register as all the information collected will be confidential. If any telecommunication company is found to release personal information without proper police warrants, they will pay a 50,000 kina fee.
Will not be any extension beyond the current deadline of April 30. And this deadline, as I said earlier today, was agreed to in consultation with the APEC Secretariat and also with our Prime Minister.
Among the pastors who attended the workshop was Cardinal Sir John Ribat. Cardinal Ribat told the participants that these are changes and developments to the society and we can only embrace them. The workshop will continue on to the other regions in PNG. Vasinata Yama, National EMTV News, Mount Hagen.
State Enterprise Minister William Duma has described New Guinea's decision to let go of 15 of its senior pilots as unpleasant. Minister Duma told Parliament that the pilots were terminated because of their involvement in politics in the year 2017. He was responding to concerns raised by Lay MP John Rosso on the continuous delays of New Guinea flights into Lay's Nadzab Airport.
Lay MP John Rosso told Parliament that a number of passengers in his electorate had faced continuous rescheduling or cancellation of their flights.
If you're aware, we've also had major disruptions with the New Guinea people.
Rosso wanted the State Enterprise Minister to identify what was causing the delays and stated that the dilemma has lasted for nearly 2 weeks.
To my understanding, I think 15 national pilots have resigned from New Guinea, and it's affecting a lot of the flights from there, and I think other centers too. So if you could probably clarify this to me so I can refer it to the people of Ley. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Minister for State and Brush.
In response, Minister Duma said the national flag carrier is facing a shortage of pilots and this has affected domestic flights to other centers as well.
New Guinea management had to make that rather unpleasant decision to let go of a number of very senior national airline pilots as a result of the involvement in politics of this country last year. So New Guinea has tried its best to attract and to recruit and retain competent and qualified pilots, but when there is competition and when given that New Guinea itself is in a position that is not something that we can be proud of, again, it's a work in progress. And
however, Mr. Duma says New Guinea is currently conducting recruitment programs to rectify the shortage.
It's an ongoing exercise, and the management have been asked to give this matter its urgent attention. It is not only affecting flights to Ley, but again to Mount Hagen, which is also the third busiest airport in the country, as well as other centers. So I can assure the member as well as our people that we have those two very important state-owned entities, but they need support from us and understanding and tough decisions, in which, Mr. Speaker, and I can assure that it is being done now.
Thakla Gunga, National EMTV News.
Telecom PNG gave away 5,000 kina to 5 lucky customers in its Top Up and Win promotion in the 15th draw today. The promotion has 25,000 kina more to give away over the next 5 weeks.
Now, Telecom Top Up and Cash Win promotion announced its 5 lucky winners for the 15th draw, all taking home 1,000 kina cash. From 100,000 kina cash giveaway to now 25,000 kina remaining to be won, Telecom PNG has been announcing its 5 lucky winners to walk away with 1,000 kina cash prize. Each of these winners purchased a minimum of 20 kina credits or more through its prepaid plan and other online services to enter and win. General Manager Commercials Properties Alphonse Stevens says Telecom will also look at similar promotions to run for its customers once the current promotion ends.
We have bundles in terms of the internet bundles, data bundles,
And telecom is, not all people know that we have a product called mobile. Yes, it's very competitive and attractive. The information is out there, and you can access through internet. The billboards in terms of our competitive price against our competitors.
Manager for Products and Business Development, Connie Alone, was present for the draw.
Yeah, congratulations, Mavis, once again, for sticking with telecom, our telecom. Because there is, you win, we win, all of us win.
It's for our prepaid customers, including mobile. So you can see the numbers are different up there in terms of the winner selection. So it's fairly, let me put it this way, and please come on board to get more prizes. There are other, very attractive products coming after this one, which close in by March, and then we'll launch new ones going forward.
Alone says for new and existing customers, in order to enter the promotion, 20 Kina Plus credits are to be purchased. The 15th draw has now left 25,000 Kina to be won and 5,000 Kina to be given away in the next 5 weeks to lucky telecom customers. Now, for a very special day next week, Telecom PNG is providing free 24-hour service for its customers for social media platforms such as Instagram, Facebook or Twitter, and also to mobile and fixed line services for Valentine's Day next week. Godwin Eki, National EMTV News.
You're watching Friday's News. We'll have more on the other side of these messages. Stay tuned. Welcome back to National EMTV News. There is an argument brewing between settlers at Baruni in the nation's capital. The infamous area, known for armed hold-ups and rascal activities, has recently seen an influx of settlers. A portion of the land being disputed has settlers who have been there since the year 2003.
The portion of land in dispute is just behind Rainbow and at the entrance to Baroni, a 5-minute drive in from the junction where Autorex Limited is located and owned by Clement Michael. Clement and the surrounding community have been having ongoing quarrels as he says he has the land title.
Slowly over these years to pursue this title, and I've got a title in 2016, and that settles it. I've got a title here.
A number of the settlers here are public servants, and the oldest settler, who claims to be one of the first settlers, is Martha Aisau. Martha is disabled and wants authorities to clarify if Clement Michael can evict.
Title me looks me savelo title eviction notice how am sakam me evicted lo 6 mile how many 2 times this is the 3rd time you are coming. Suppose one business company come and say evict me by move, but I don't believe him no until Papa Granny come mix him title blue Israel Lands Department Minister Justin Tachengo, and then I will move.
The settlers claim Clement Michael has no right to evict them and are calling on relevant authorities to intervene. This comes after settlers had chased the surveyor contracted by Michael to survey the 2 allotments.
We will not move from here. We have spent a lot of money. We will challenge this matter in the court of law. We will actually fight. We will fight to stay here.
EMTV masawa pawan gini masawa 1 plan man emixum illegal title like Rausim 2,000 plus man inside 1 plan parcel 1 plan block government masinda wim tila man straight.
Meanwhile, Clement Michael claims he has the land title and wants all illegal settlers to move.
Again, you see, this lease is a light industrial lease, and I feel that I'm doing a business here, and the business has occupied 1/3 of the land here already, and 2/3 is just nothing. So I don't think I will have any place for them, because a title is a title. I have to move them away.
EMTV has contacted the Lands Department to seek clarification on the title Michael has and is still awaiting a response. Adelaide Siraks Kari, National EMTV News.
The Department for Community Development and Religion launched its 2018 Media and Communication Strategy today, which will provide for an effective collaboration and partnership between the department and media entities. Secretary Anna Solomon says the strategy outlines the direction for the department in dealing with media publications. She said many issues affecting communities and families need awareness, and people need to know what the government is doing to address these issues.
The role of media in driving effective delivery of government services and programs that affects the lives of people, especially in the rural areas, was highlighted in the 2018 Media and Communication Strategy of the Department for Community Development and Religion. With the department's aim to focus on people's issues, the idea behind the strategy is to promote and elaborate on people's own development needs, perspectives, and aims for them to take ownership of the development programs.
How do we deliver to Papua New Guinea given its difficult terrain? We don't have roads connecting all our communities to our Papua New Guinea. We don't have ports in many parts of Papua New Guinea. We don't have jetties that can connect. So what do? Media plays a very, very important role in so far as.
While stressing the objective of the strategy, the department's media manager, David Nugi, acknowledged the mainstream media for promoting community development issues in the recent years. He says the partnership will continue to bring about development in lives of people, especially those in the rural areas.
One of the things, what makes you buy the newspaper? So we want you, the media now, President, to really come into our school. We've had sorcery, rape, murder, crime for the last year. How do we now? You've done a very good job in promoting sorcery, fight, rape, murder. Now, how do we fix that? Can we be challenged and say, okay, we've been telling this story going enough, 1 year now. So how do we counter that story that we've been promoting for a year? So how do we make that front story, the front page? How do we make it news? So the same passion and the story that you're driving in your media, why don't you use that now to counter the sorcery?
PNG's Media Council President Neville Choi reaffirmed the mainstream media's cooperation in promoting development agendas through the department. He said although there is no control of the kind of information put on social media platforms, the PNG media has strict guidelines on what is being published for their audiences.
From the perspective of the media in PNG, this strategy is to set a foundation as to how we can change mindsets, levels of tolerance, improve and strengthen family foundations, and most importantly, teach our future generations about the values of respect, acceptance, and mutual humanity. These are all very big areas to tackle, and it will take a massive effort on the part of the department and its staff. We, the media, stand to help.
Stacey Yalo, National, EMTV News.
The national government owes 6 primary schools in Leh District more than 3 million kina in outstanding tuition fee-free payments. The outstanding payments have been accumulating since 2014. Huonville Primary School, for example, is owed nearly 1 million kina in TFF payments.
Markham Road Primary School has come forward today saying the government still owes them more than 840,000 kina. The school has 2,000 students and is expected to receive 480,000 each year from the Education Department. But the school received less than 200,000 kina paid in installments last year.
Imagine how many kiloliters of water going out every day. And the water bill has increased from 4,000 up to 6,000 this year. That's the monthly water bill that I'm paying for.
Meanwhile, St. Mary's Primary School in Leh has been seeking answers from the Education Department on the outstanding TFF payment of more than 500,000 kina from 2013, but no response was given. Huonville Primary School said the government still owes them 900,000 kina in outstanding TFF payments since 2014. The head teacher for Omili Primary School in Leh, Doreen Boa, said the school is still waiting for its outstanding TFF money of more than 600,000 kina for 2017. And Gantom Primary School has not received its outstanding TFF payment of 200,000 kina last year, and the government still owes Milford Haven Primary School 45,000 kina for 2017.
I'm trying to get my treasurer before you came in to get a balance of how much money do I have. He refused to give me the balance because he said money is not coming.
The government says the 30% infrastructure funds are paid directly to schools and no funds are held back by the Department of Education. But head teachers of these schools have confirmed that they have not received the infrastructure funds since 2014.
When the minister asked for us to reimburse all the money back, project fee back, I don't know how will we run the school because the money, the TFF money has not been reaching us yet. So that's something else that minister will decide.
Julie Badui Owa, National MTV News, Leh.
Here with National MTV News, Trukai Sports is up next with a jam-packed lineup of sporting action. Stick around.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. Two rugby league referees will be trialling out communication sets next weekend during the PNG Super 9s tournament. The referees will be using this to interact with linesmen throughout the game.
There are more than 50 certified coaches and referees in the country. A referee and coaches course will be held next week Wednesday at the National Sports Institute in Goroka, Eastern Highlands Province. The course will run till Friday the 16th, where participants will be presented with certificates. One of PNG RFL's challenges is building the sport in Papua New Guinea. Super 9's tournament coordinator Stanley Hondina says they would like to build the game with not only helping players but referees and coaches too.
So again, that's an investment we are doing to better the game, to help the game get better. We believe the referees do play a part in developing the game, so that's also happening. So if you see it, it's not just coming in and playing a nine competition, but it's a whole approach thing that we are doing.
During the PNG Super 9s tournament, referees will be using communication sets to interact throughout the game.
We've bought some com sets now for the referees, so we will try it out at the 9s. The referees will be communicating with the touch judges on the EO com set for our competition now. So again, that's an investment we are doing to better the game.
Depending on the results, referees may then use the communication sets in the Intercity Cup competition.
Yes, we'll use it through the course of Digital Cup, so that's why we are trialing it out in Goroka. I can tell you there's 5 pieces to one set, and it costs a sustainable good amount of money. And it's an investment that NRLC has looked into doing, so we've bought those sets, and a trainer is taking them up, and then he's going to do a course over the night to teach them how to use, and then they will run on with it on the 9th competition. But we are looking at that to move forward for all our games to help better the game, like I said.
Elijah Levet, National MTV Sports.
And we'll have more of Trukai Sports on the other side of these messages. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. Very quickly to Rugby League, the PNG RFL will hold its annual general meeting in Port Moresby on Monday, the February 26, 2018. PNG RFL Chairman Sandis Chaka said among the agenda items will be the 2017 PNG RFL annual reports and audited financials. The AGM will begin at 8:30 on the date, Monday, the 26th of February. And that's it for Trukai Sports. We'll have the weather details on the other side. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
The weather details were proudly brought to you by Dulux, celebrating 50 years in PNG and the only paint made in PNG.
A look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours, and in the southern region, thundery showers expected in Daru and Kerma, showers expected in Port Moresby, Alotau and Popondetta.
The weather details were proudly brought to you by Dulux, celebrating 50 years in PNG and the only paint made in PNG.
And that's the news, sport and weather for today. On behalf of the entire MTV News team, have a safe weekend, pleasant viewing, good night.